Pleasant good afternoon to everyone. My name is Angelo, and I'm the Experiential Learning and Certification Specialist at AEL. It's my pleasure today to host this afternoon's session about the D2L Gradebook. And I'd like to welcome all of our colleagues from the College of Engineering and Technology and all of our colleagues from the College of Computing and Information Technology. Welcome, everyone. I also just wanted to note that the same webinar is also being done concurrently with all the other 4 colleges, but being done by 2 of my other colleagues. This is because it's important that we be able to tell all the teachers about the changes that are happening in the D2L gradebook and how we can fix our D2L gradebooks in preparation for the PeopleSoft integration. First off, I just want to check with everyone, just a short introduction, but at the same time a question. You've probably received a notification from your HODs regarding today's session. I just wanted to check, do you understand why you've all been asked to join us today? Anyone? Anyone, please?
Hello. Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. So we are asked to join because we need to learn how to grade on D2L because it's now, it has been, I believe it will move from PeopleSoft to D2L, and we need to learn how to do that.
Perfect.
That's what I knew.
This is perfect, ma'am. So basically, 3 key points that we need to be aware of why today's session is very important. First, PeopleSoft will no longer be available for you to encode your grades or marks. So unlike before, you go to PeopleSoft, you set up your gradebook there, and you key in your marks. So this is no longer possible moving forward. And what our colleagues in IT, in the IT directorate will do is to set up a connection between PeopleSoft and D2L, such that PeopleSoft will automatically pull from our D2L gradebooks. It will pull both the grades and the grade structures that are there. So this will be automatically done. And because of that, that means we need to fix up our gradebooks before that connection is set up, so that we can properly and accurately set up our grades for our students. Background. Right now, we're running about 2,400 sections for the entire UDST. Roughly only about 10% have the proper gradebook configuration. So this is why we have asked to set up these sessions to help our faculty set up the gradebooks properly. And we are making sure and we'll monitor all the 2,400 courses and make sure that all of these are set up properly before we hit our midterms. Okay? Any questions so far?
A quick question, clarification. So we don't do anything in PeopleSoft anymore, right? We'll wait for everything done. So we'll only do it in D2L from today onwards or going for this semester?
Yes, ma'am, because as per the instructions of IT, it will all be automatically pulled, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so I will go over 2 scenarios for depending on which level you are in D2L, which scenario you are in. So for some of you, you have some or all of your grade items already in D2L. And for some of you, you have completely nothing there, meaning maybe most of the things that you set up in terms of assessments may be paper-based or on another platform, but maybe not in D2L. So in both of these scenarios, we will walk through how you would set up your gradebook and how you make sure that your gradebook is done properly. Okay, and before I go to accessing your D2L gradebook, Scenario 1, I'll just walk you through. There are 3 key steps that we'll do. And for both scenarios, it will be very similar. So first is what we'll do is we'll set up your D2L gradebook categories. So that's step 1. And then step 2 is once you have those categories in place, you'll take your gradebook items. If you have things like D2L quizzes or D2L drop boxes or assignments, we connect those and assign them to the categories. As well, if you have non-D2L gradebook items, for example, if you have a quiz that you did offline, paper-based, and stuff like that, you can also assign it to a category. And lastly, we will check your D2L gradebook. Okay, so those 3 key steps. 1, set up the categories. 2, we assign the grade items to the categories. And then 3, we will check our gradebook. Okay, so 3 simple steps. We will do that inside our D2L courses. So what I will do first is I will go to D2L. And so what I want to point out is later on, we will share a recording of this webinar. But at the same time, if you go to your D2L homepage, you'll see a link there that says D2L Gradebook. So all of these key steps over here, these 3 steps that I just mentioned, which is setting up the D2L Gradebook categories, assigning assessments to the gradebook categories, and checking the gradebook, is exactly the same thing that I will cover here. So if you forget anything, or if you feel you need to go through a few more rounds before you do actually in your D2L gradebook, you can access the tutorials, the video tutorials, and it's found via the D2L gradebook link at the top of the D2L homepage. Okay? All right, so what I'll do first is our first scenario. So I'll go over here. And this is a course I borrowed from our friends from engineering, from Professor Soliman. That's because his course is one of those properly set up in terms of the gradebook. So it was easy to just identify which ones were already set up properly. So I borrowed this one. Okay, so what I'll do first, for you to set up your gradebook, you need to first go to assessments and grades. Okay, so if we look here under manage grades, what does that look like? So Prof. Soliman has set up a whole set of D2L activities. He's got a test, he's got 2 midterms in there, he's got 3 quizzes, 2 is this WS, is that worksheets? He's got 2 of those, 2 assignments. He does not have the final setup here. Okay, so the first thing that we need to understand, all of these things, all of our assessments put together at the end, need to total to 100. So right now, we've got a problem. Our gradebook is set to 105. And that is why we are having an error message up here, a note that says the calculated grade sums up to 105, not 100. So from our perspective in AEL, for our gradebook to be done properly, it has to be equal to 100. It cannot be less than that. It cannot be more than that. So after inspecting all the 2,400 courses, we find that a lot of them is either below 100, maybe 60%, 50%, the total grade is 50 or 60%. And the reason for that is some of the things are left out. The paper-based exams are not included in the gradebook, and therefore it doesn't total to 100, for example. And the reverse is true. There are situations where the course shells have final grades that are more than 100. So there are several that I've seen that are actually 300, 600%, like this. So in this case, everyone would pass. So we need to make sure that you set up the gradebook properly, yeah? Okay, so what is step 1 again? May I ask, please? What do we need to do first? We're looking at the gradebook now. We can access the gradebook. What do we need to do first?
Categories.
Categories. Fantastic. So to do that, I'm under Manage Grades. I'm going to go to New and set up the category. And when I'm doing the category, the best thing to do is to bring out your syllabus, check your syllabus, and you'll see that quizzes are worth X%, assignments are worth X%, tests are worth X%, and finals and midterms is worth X%. That's the best way and easiest way to do this. Okay, but because I've seen Professor Soliman's structure, I will just follow that. I will say the test, let's say, is worth 5% and 5%. And one of the tricks we do is when we're setting up the categories, please try to see if you can switch this to distribute weight evenly across all items. So why are we doing this? One of the sources of errors that we find is that, let's say, you're the person in charge of setting up the master shell for this. And let's say you did it really well and it's equal to 100 in terms of the gradebook. But then when a new person comes in, doesn't quite know what they're doing, and then they decide to like, okay, I want to add a new quiz, I want to add a new homework, then all of the weights of those grade items now are above 100. You suddenly get 120, 130. And so that can be a very common situation when we are dealing with the gradebook. So the reason why we're saying distribute the weight evenly is so that when a person does that, as long as we assign those new items to the categories, then it just redistributes the weight inside, so that it's easy to rectify the error. All right. So what we did, we put in the name of the category, we put in the weight of the category, and then we set it to distribute weight evenly across all items. After that, just click on Save and Close. And what that will do is put in a category at the end over here, which is test. Next one, I will do a category for the midterms. So the midterm, let's say, is 30%. So let's say I'm following the syllabus. And again, I will distribute weight evenly, save and close. And so on for about three or four more items. Please bear with me. Quizzes are 10%. Distribute weight evenly. And then WS. And then 15%. And then distribute weight evenly. And then assignments. And then 10%. Distribute weight evenly. And finally, I will put in a final exam category 2. So I'll put finals, and that is worth 30. And then I will do distribute weight evenly. Okay, so I've got my categories here at the bottom. And then we'll go from here. Test is 5, plus midterm is 30, that's 35. Quiz is 10, so that's 45. The plus WS is 60. Assignments 70. Final is 30, so that's 100. Okay, so what we'll do now after we set up the categories is we'll need to assign these grade items, the activities you had before. We'll assign them to the categories you set up. Right, so what I'll do is I'll go on beside test. I'll click on the drop-down list beside. I'll click on edit. And basically just set it to the category that we set up a while ago. Okay, and then click and save and close. And same for the rest of these things. Same for the rest of these grade items. Term. Term 2. I'll just assign that to the category. And then what I'll want you to do is observe what happens. So this is the test. Grade item a while ago. It's gone over here. You find it strange that the test is worth 5%, but the weight of the the test item over here is 100. Look at midterms, it's worth 30%, but the weightage of midterm 1 and the weightage of midterm 2, why is that 50? I will do the third set for quizzes, and I want you to try and observe what's happening in terms of weights, please. Okay, so I will set this up for category. I will set the second quiz to the quiz category again. And the third one under quiz category again. I want you to observe what's happened between those items with only 1, the one with 2, and the one with 3. So under the test category, which is worth 5%, you've got one grade item, and there's 100 points here, and the weight is 100. Next, I want you to look at midterms. It's worth 30%. But look at the weight of the midterm grade items. The first one is 100 points, that's fine. But now the weight is 50 and 50. Okay, quizzes, this is worth 10%. But look at the weight of these three. 33.33, 33.33, 33.33. What's happening here? I need help, guys. When we're assigning the categories and we're doing equal weights, what is it doing? What is the total of all of these grade items under a category?
Because it's evenly distributing each quizzes to.
Because it's 100. The total is 100. So it's
Yes.
dividing it evenly between the 3.
Perfect. So first, it is dividing it evenly in between the number of items under the category. Perfect. Second, the total of those number of items under that category is 100. So there's two rules that we need to follow to make sure that your gradebook is perfect. One, the categories in themselves, in this case, test category, midterm category, quiz category, WS category, and the finals category, assignments plus finals, all of these categories must equal to 100. Right now it isn't, so because we still need to redistribute a few more. But the second rule is, after all the categories are set to 100, all the grade items under each category must also, the weights must be equal to 100. That's why it's easier to set it up while distribute evenly. Okay, let me just quickly finish off these other, assign these other grade items to the category. And then we should have something close to 100. And I want you to observe and see if it isn't. And I want you to tell me why. Let's see, assignments. Once you have one quick go at this, you'll quickly pick it up and you'll understand like what to do with the rest of your sections. Okay, so nothing left to assign. 5%, nothing left in terms of grade items. Does it total 100? Over here, the bottom. Hello? You guys still there?
Yes, we can see it's 100.
Yes. Yeah. So is this total to 100? Yes. So our first rule, finish. It is equal to 100. Second rule is what? You need to check that each of the categories, the total weights under the grade items in there is 100. So test, okay? Yes, because it's 100. Second midterms, 50 and 50, that's 100, that's good. Third is quizzes, 3 of them, 33.3, good. WS, 2 of them, so 50 and 50, 100. Fantastic. Assignments are the same, 2 50s. Finals is 30. But there's no points. Is this good or not good?
Not good.
Not good.
Yes. So in this case, you just need to set up a new item, put finals on it, and just assign it to the finals category. So now, also 100 there. This is perfect. Okay. Now, you'll notice that some of them got question marks, some of them don't. What does that mean? Quizzes here. What question mark? The rest, two drop boxes. Yes. The rest are dashes. What does that mean?
Maybe because it wasn't assigned from the Dropbox, the file.
Yes, yes. So these, if you've got anything that has question marks over here, that means it is assigned to a D2L activity. In this case, there are two activities that involve Dropboxes. So if I go here to assessments and Dropbox, I should see at least two. 1 and 2. Okay, and in the same vein, if I go to grades and I look at the quizzes, I should see 3 quizzes there. Okay, if it's been included in the gradebook, let's take a look. She's got a lot more, but the quizzes in themselves here are 1, 2, 3. So these are the ones he included in the gradebook. The other ones are practice, I think. Okay, so it's got formative stuff there too. That's good. Okay, so going back to grades. So what do the things that don't have those question marks, what do they mean? That means those are just grade items where you are keying in. That might be a paper-based exam or something you observe, but it's not tied to a D2L activity. Okay, so therefore, if I need to grade those, these things without the D2L activity, what I need to do is just go to enter grades. And then I'll switch to spreadsheet view. And so under the test now, I can encode the grades for the rest of these students. Okay. Questions so far?
No.
Nothing? Easy? Easy, yeah? 3-step process. First, set up category. Second, you assign the grade items to the categories. Third, we just check our gradebook, make sure the total of the categories is 100. And we make sure that the grade items under the category, the weights are also equal to 100. So you might be asking, oh, yeah, but I set up my grade items already. They already equal 100. Why am I doing this like the hard way? Okay, let me be the new teacher, for example, who goes here. And then I go, oh, I want to make a quiz form. Okay, watch what happens when I do a quiz form. And let's just say we are dealing with quiz items only, grade items only, and not categories. So make a quiz form. Let's say I don't have categories before. I just save and close. And what that does, and it's a common situation, you are now perfectly well above 100. Now you've got 10 points more that you need to figure out where to take from. Because there's 10 extra points, you have to delete 10% somewhere else. It's a messy situation. But because you've set up categories, what you need to do, if there's a new grade item like that, very easy. You go to the drop-down list, edit, assign to that category that you set up for it. And what happens is it will just redistribute the weights inside that category. You see? So this is why we are saying it is better by putting first your categories, because it's easy to rectify if you've got new things coming in or things that are coming out. Not a problem either way. Okay, so even if I have to delete this, not a problem, because the weights here will readjust without changing the weight for the total category. Okay? Good? Any questions before I go to second scenario? Yes? Yes? Anybody with a question?
Assalamu alaikum. I just want to know how if you create a formula.
Great formula.
Yeah. One of the columns that you have chosen here, if I create a formula a column based on a formula, it doesn't add to the total. That is what I experienced in my first semester was in the winter. This is my second semester with UDST. So I was trying to work with formula where I use if statement. For example, I want to drop one of the quizzes. I couldn't do that. I had to do it manually, actually.
Okay. Okay, sir. So
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
You got me,
First
right?
off, yes. So first
Okay,
off,
I will
sir.
just switch off the mic.
Yes. First off, thank you for that question. First, when we are working with the gradebook, as much as possible, we do not use this formula because that's a totally different thing. Because it is a larger percentage, we will get an error while using the formulas. So as much as possible, I do not want to do this. But to your question, I want to drop a quiz. So for example, let's go back to our example earlier. I got 4 quiz here, yes? And then your situation was, I want to drop the lowest, sir. How many do you want to drop? 1, 2.
Yeah, let me drop one of the quizzes, just the lowest for all across the students.
sir.
And it doesn't
So-
know 1 or 2 or 3 or 4,
Okay,
but for
sir.
each student, I want to drop the lowest, let us say.
Okay, sir. So when you want to do that, do not do it via formula. So you go again to the category, and then what you do is you use the drop down arrow beside the category and select edit. And if you scroll down under the distribution section, there's an option here for number of highest non-bonus items to drop and number of lowest non-bonus items to drop. Which one should you drop? Under the scenario, you want to drop the lowest. So we must go on the second one, number of lowest non-bonus items to drop. So how many quizzes will we drop? We will drop 1. So therefore, if my quiz 1 is the lowest, it will drop my quiz 1. But if your lowest is your quiz, yours 1 is the quiz 4 is your lowest, then it will drop your quiz 4. So like this only, you set the number of how many quizzes do you want to drop, the lowest ones. And then afterwards, save and close.
Okay, can you
Finish,
say, okay, let me see how the weights are affected by this? Just you had the 4
Okay, sir.
quizzes, and still the weights are 25%, although
Yes, sir.
the 3 quizzes are going to be actually taken into consideration.
Yes, sir. So I will go to the enter gradebook so that you can see what happens when we key in the marks. Yeah. So let us go under quizzes. So I'm gonna cheat first here and key in the marks for one person across 4 quizzes. Yes. So I will out of 100, sir, I will do what? Let's say 100 for the first one. 100 for the second one. Third one is 50. Fourth one is 80. So
Okay.
280.
280
divided by 3. Oh, let's
3
round it off.
should be
Maybe 70. So I should get 90.
7,
Yeah?
so that you get 90. Right, okay.
Like this.
Okay.
So I save first, huh? So it's easier to compute. Quiz value 4 must be greater than equal to, oh, it's 10. So it should be 7 out of 10. Sorry, it's doing a validation check. Okay. So it should drop the lowest, huh? Yeah, switch now to standard view. Okay, and then our first student now under quiz 1 got 100, got 150 and 70. So my total for it is 9 out of 10 or 90%.
90%. Okay.
Okay.
Tamam.
All right.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Good.
sir.
Great. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on, because that is also
Okay.
one of the things that are commonly asked by faculty, but sometimes they don't know where to look, sir. So it's good that you bring that up. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, sir. Anything else? So that before we go to the second scenario. First scenario, we've got something or everything there, and we just need to realign our gradebook. Okay. Question so far? Can I go to, okay. Yes. Yes.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, question. So for the naming of these categories, we are free to choose the names, right? Like, for example, like worksheets, I selected WS. That's okay, where there is no specific names that are required for this, right?
The reference, I would suppose, is the one from your syllabus. So actually, it would be good to name it worksheets if it's worksheets in your syllabus as where it defines the assessment item and the percentage, so that it just doesn't confuse the student.
Yeah, okay, but okay, so it has to match the names used in the syllabus, right?
That is the best practice, sir. I mean, if it's close enough, that's also okay.
Okay.
I suppose the most important thing is it starts up to 100 and not 600.
Yes. I was just checking because you are mentioning that the grades will be imported somehow to the PeopleSoft, and
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not sure so I don't need to worry about this process, the importing thing. So I'll just name it as per my syllabus, and then that's it for me, right? We
Yes,
don't
sir.
have to specify standard names or something, right?
No,
Okay,
nothing
good.
like that. Because it will take both the grades and the structure. Meaning, if you got quiz there, quiz 1, quiz 2, it will import that entire structure.
Perfect. Thank you.
So no need for us to worry about this.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. So no other questions. Is it okay if I move on to the second part, which is I don't have anything set up yet. Maybe I'm doing mostly paper-based. I have a course shell, but maybe I don't have anything there except maybe some resources, but maybe I never put in a gradebook, no assessments or anything there. Okay. I will move on to scenario 2. So scenario 2 will be similar. Again, we set up the gradebook categories. The difference is in number 2 because we don't have any gradebook items there. We need to create it and then assign it. Does that make sense? Okay, so categories, grade items, and the grade items we need to assign to the categories. Okay, same process, except that here we need to create the grade items. Okay, the third one is, again, we need to recheck your gradebook, make sure it's totaling 100. So let me show you now how that's done. I also want to show the possibility that when you're doing this, you're setting up a placeholder first, and then if you decide to put up a D2L activity later, you can link that up too. Okay, let me switch to scenario 2 here. And let me put up my grades. Do I have a quiz here? Yes, I have a quiz here. Okay. So I'll set up my grades. And I will go to manage grades again. And okay. Let me delete this first. This was a structure I was working on earlier today for that was for biology. Okay, let me delete. Delete again. Okay, good. Okay, so I will start from here. And let's say I have completely nothing. I do mostly non-D2L things. I will set up my categories first. So again, I take out my syllabus and I will copy from my syllabus. So I go assignments. Let's go 20%. Again, the important thing is distribute it evenly across all items so that you don't have to manually understand what the percentages are. I'll save and close. So that's assignments. I will do quizzes. And then I will set that to 20%. And then distribute it evenly. And then I will do midterm. Prof. Solomon, are you the one I borrowed this course from a while ago?
Yes, the first course was my course. Yes.
That was amazing.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Very good, very good. 30, 30, and here 30%, and lastly our final. Okay. Your finals is 30%. So let's check. First check. Our categories are equal to 100, 20, 20, 30, 30, total to 100. So this is correct. Categories are equal to 100. Next off, I don't have anything that I have here in D2L. I have no activities. Let's say I don't have any activities. So what you need to do is to set up the grade items so that they are more of like placeholders where you key in those marks. So I'll make an item here. I'll make 2 assignments. Obviously, you can make more and it will readjust the weights. Send it to the category. And I will save and close. And I'll do a second one. Assignment 2. And category. So the short name is, if you, in your gradebook, under a category, for example, if you wanted to display a shorter name, like you want to do like A2 for that particular item, you can do that too. So that it doesn't look so big in terms of the view and the display. Okay, so we've got 2 assignments and their weights therefore are 50 and 50. Let me make quizzes. I'll make 2 quizzes. And this is where I want you to see what would happen if first you set it up as a placeholder, and then somewhere along the way you decide, oh, I want to do this via D2L. So I'll do one first, quiz 1, and I'll do another one for quiz 2. Save that. So I also need to do one for midterm and one for final. Just do that. Midterm. So this thing about points, don't fixate too much. It will, the points really will adjust. It's not such a big deal. You can change that later on if you need to, not a problem. Okay. All right, so we've got the categories are 100, the subcategories are 100, and then all of these are placeholders. Therefore, if I move to enter grades and I switch to spreadsheet view, I can encode the marks for all of those grade items that I set up. Okay, but I want to go back and I want to show you that it's possible that first you were thinking, okay, I'm gonna do everything offline or paper, and then later on you change your mind. So what happens, for example, if in the middle you say, oh, maybe my quiz 1, instead of doing it manually, I will try to do it in D2L. So how would you do that? So let's say you set up your quiz, and in this case, I already have one waiting, like topic 1. Okay. What I do is I'll edit this. I'll set it up, obviously, and then I can edit it. What will happen is, instead of it being not in the gradebook, and instead of just adding it to the gradebook, that creates a new gradebook item, what we'll do is we'll edit or link it to existing. So you click on edit or link to existing, and I will choose the grade category, which is quiz. I'm sorry, link to existing grade item. I'm sorry. I'll go to quizzes and I will link it to quiz 1. So whatever score that person gets will automatically link to our first quiz 1 grade item inside the gradebook. So I just wanted to show you that you can shift your strategy. If at first you don't have anything, that's fine. and then somewhere along the way you decide, okay, I want to automate these things, you can do that midstream too. Okay, so now our grade, our quiz item now here, if you can see, is now tied up and linked to our quiz. So you can shift strategy. My hope for everybody is if you are starting off first and let's say the worst situation is you've done everything on paper or you have no master shell to begin with, that is the most difficult place to start. You start off with put a structure first in terms of assessment. And as you go along, you can build in your automation in terms of those quizzes, those exams and things like that, and drop boxes. You can build that along the way. You don't have to build it just build the structure first, because we need to make sure that it totals 100 when we're done. Okay. Question so far, please, about our second option. Question?
It's me again, Sayed, okay?
Yes, sir, no problem.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I just feel confused with the use of categories. Under grades, there is categories.
Yes.
And under quizzes, there is also categories. And they are not the same. And this killed me the other semester I started this. And I had to create the same categories here and for the quizzes. I just want to create quizzes of different categories.
I understand.
So this is like kind of ambiguity, and which is which.
Yes, sir. The categories here have two different meanings. So
Yeah.
it is not the same.
Yeah, they're totally different. Yeah,
They are totally different, sir.
This is poor naming
Yes.
convention.
I'm so sorry.
They could call them any other thing, yeah.
Yes. But
Yeah.
please understand, it's not my fault.
No, I know it is not your fault. Just I wanted to highlight it so that
Yes, sir. Thank you.
if I'm wrong, then correct me. They could mean the same thing, but I ended up creating two sets of categories, and I don't know which is which. When I choose category, where to edit, and that was my first experience. Now I'm using it for the second time anyway.
Yes. So
Yeah, okay.
that's correct. So categories in the assessments mean that in the quizzes mean a totally different thing compared to the categories here that we are mentioning under grades. They are two distinct things, two separate things altogether. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
So the other thing there is so this is one of the sessions we are doing for engineering and IT. That's the portfolio handed to me for this semester. Though I will be chasing all our other colleagues as well. We need to make sure that everyone gets this gradebook set up properly before we hit the midterms. That's because you've got a very nice vacation during the midterms. And before you all run off, we need to make sure that it's all set up properly so that you're not panicking when you come back. Yeah. Do we have any other questions before I do the administrative stuff for end of the workshop? So again, our check only is first, we need the final grade to total 100. And we need all the grade items under each category to total 100. That's the check our grade. Okay, so if no other questions, I just want to quickly wrap up. What we did so far is in this session is to make sure you knew how to access your D2L gradebook. So we went to your course shell, and then we went to your D2L gradebook there. So we said we would need three-step process to make sure that our gradebooks are set up properly. So first is we set up our categories. We then assign the gradebook items to the categories. And if there are no gradebook items first, then we make them, then we assign to categories. And then lastly, we check our D2L gradebook. We need to make sure that the final total there is 100, and then that the gradebook items under each category also total 100 in terms of weight. Okay, so I also told you that we have a D2L tutorial at the homepage in D2L. The recording of this webinar will also be shared with you through your HODs. But if you still need help, please email me. You have my email over here, displayed here. So just reach out, and then we will make sure that we set a schedule for you and make sure that we get you sorted out in terms of your grade. Okay. Any other questions? Oh, before everyone leaves, please, I need your help. So the way we mark attendance is because so many of you will go in. We don't know how many of you are registered, how many of you will attend. If you don't mind, please, can you please settle a workshop evaluation? This is the QR code. So your attendance is, we don't mind whichever number you put for the workshop evaluation, but please, we need you to log in there and submit, and that serves as your attendance for the session. Can I give you a few minutes to settle that, please?
Sorry, what's the name of this session? Managing
There should be something there about the gradebook, sir.
Oh, okay.
Mastering D2L gradebook, like this.
Okay.
So I will assist everybody as much as I can. But know that I'm also at the mercy of several hundred instructors right now. So please, I ask for your patience. I will get to you. I will make sure I get to you, and I will make sure that we all get our gradebook settled before we hit midterms. Everybody done with the QR code? Yeah, I'll give it maybe a minute more before we wrap up and close. Everybody able to get a snapshot of the QR code? Okay, I will wrap up with that. Right, let me just ask one more time. Do we have any more questions? Yes, Ala?
Thank you. Thank you for the nice presentation. Also, I would like to ask regarding the final exams. Generally, when we used to do to use PeopleSoft, I personally don't put the grades on D2L so that it's not visible to the students, but I enter them to PeopleSoft, which is at that time not visible to the students. So how are we going to handle that in D2L? I'm afraid, like, if I enter the grades of the final exam, or if I manually grade in D2L, it will be visible to the students.
You've got options, sir, to hide certain things from the gradebook. So thank you for that question. Good. In general, I tend to put things all out there. But if you needed to hide anything, for example, you've got the option here to whichever grade item or grade category you want to hide. You just select the grade item or grade category, hide from user, and then what you'll see is a visual representation that thing is hidden. I will also do the same for the grade item. And so if we take a look at the gradebook over here, as a student, I shouldn't be able to see those things anymore. Let me just switch over to a student view. You should see that
Hide
those,
the total as well, I think.
let me see. Should be under assessments and grades. And I should be able to see my finals over here. The final actually is not here at all. And the total is not there at all either. So that's how it will look like when you hide things. Okay?
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yes, IT was raising was flagging that somehow the colleges need to define like maybe hide all the finals, something like this. They did mention that because they said they didn't want the students to like understand what their grade was before it got published to PeopleSoft, something like that. But I'm half going, well, all the weights are there, all the grade items are there. So if I'm just missing my finals, I should get a pretty good inclination of whether I scored X, Y, Z. So that's one of those things. You have that option to hide it. Yes, whether it's a category or an item. Stop sharing first. Okay. Any other questions, please? How can we delete? How can we delete? Sorry, yeah.
Just small question from my side. This is Rakib.
Yes.
Yeah. Once I make this gradebook in any one of my D2L shells, so can I copy this or import to other D2L shells like how we do the course materials, or it will affect anything before entering the marks?
Okay, thank you for that question, sir. So if we are in a situation where, like a while ago, the grade items are not connected to any D2L activities, then that's straightforward. We can export that and copy import that into another section. It is a bit trickier if that grade item is connected to a D2L activity.
Okay, so before doing all these things, we can do such importing, right?
So the way I would do it, anyway, if not all of your items are in D2L already, what I would do is I'd copy the grade structure, meaning my entire gradebook is not connected to the D2L activity yet. And if it totals 100 in terms of the categories and the grade items, I would copy it out to my sections. And then as I go along and as I build my D2L activities, I will then connect those to the proper placeholders. Like when I build my quiz one, I can connect it to the quiz one grade item that I set up earlier. You get what I mean?
I got it.
Yes, sir. So it's easier to deal with if it's not connected to anything. That's basically what I'm saying. Okay, we've got a question from Professor Abbas. How can we delete existing categories or items from the previous course in the gradebook? Because we have imported all data from master shell, meaning from master shell, it is now in your course shell, yes? Abbas, are you still there?
Yes, true.
Okay, so my first question is, did students submit anything yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so that's the perfect scenario. It is harder, sir, if they submit something or they take quiz already, we got problem because then we're deleting data that they submit already. So if they haven't submitted anything yet, then that's easy. What we'll do is something called a course reset. And I'm not sure if you can do that, but it's certainly something that we admins can do. So let me just quickly show you that. I'll need to share my screen again. Can you see my screen? Can you see my sandbox?
Yes.
Okay, sir. So the way I would do to wipe out everything, maybe, so I've got at least a quiz here, yeah? Yeah, so I want to, everything including your content, all your files should be gone. Okay, so to do that, sir, what you need to do is you'd go to Course Tools, Edit Course. I feel this is more for admin. I don't think it is in your menu. So if I scroll down, there's an option here called Course Reset. And what that does is basically nukes everything in there, meaning the only thing left, sir, will be you and the students. All the content, all the scores, all the gradebook structure, all that's gone. So then you are free to then import from the master shell again if the master shell was fixed. Does that make sense, sir?
Yeah, okay. I got your point.
Okay. Other questions? Oh, I didn't expect like so many people. I think at a certain point we were at 30 something a while ago. Just see the other screen if anybody has any other questions. Any other questions before I close off, please? All right. You have my email. You have the tutorial for it. So I just want to thank everyone again for taking the time to attend this session. If you still need help, you have my email. Please do not hesitate to reach out, and I will make sure that we get your gradebook sorted out. Thank you so much, and have a pleasant afternoon.
Thank you, Angelo.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
No, sorry, that was my mistake.
Oh, no problem.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Take care. Take care.